As the wind erodes and the water corrodes, altering everything we think we know, but we don't. It's all temporary, and it used to, but now the thought doesn't scare me or keep my feet from following one after another until I slumber. Then my mind, not my feet, wander and dream of people and places I'll never see again. I've mended as much mental anguish as I can, and now I try to use this language to take these thoughts from my head to my pen. Cause though I don't speak of my dead friends or the circumstances, often the blow never softens or yields. I'm in a desolate field, lonesome stargazing, night blazing, chasing traces of remembrance and reverence of relevant friends and acquaintances, and faceless and nameless names and faces. And while my mind is racing through these photo albums and quotations, all these people and places far from me, for only land and stars I see when I'm outside of the Mile High City, which is not my city, for I was born 1,000 miles northeast of there, in the land of beer and lakes and pistol fire on MLK's birthday, where there is no minorities and segregation's mandatory. But that's a whole nother story altogether, and no matter the weather or hardships that any place brings, I'll still laugh when people shiver and say it's freezing, or say, hey, no wait, I already had 18 mixed drinks, but I guess it's a Midwest thing, and I'm a mess from a dirty city and brought most of this filth I've gathered with me.
Here we are on another episode of Experience 80 Wines Live, our opportunity every Monday to come together and share best practices. And today, we're going to get into life hacks, episode 2. I got into life hacks a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed what we were talking about, and I want to dig deeper and how movement begets momentum. Coming up after the verse.
My work labors on as lovers sleep in each other's arms, remaining calm and collect. I begin my self-reflection process of redemption. Honestly, I don't know where this road leads, or if I'm even going. Could be rowing upstream, or worse, chasing my dreams to the peak, to finally be somebody doing something with what I have, rather than saying again and again that I can't and I won't anymore from this day forward. Cause Lord knows the past is set in stone, the present is yours to mold and to use for future uses. I know I'm a nuisance, I'm told, except neither young nor old, nor giant nor gnome. I don't sleep on these streets usually, though I've made thrones of my own. I don't sit well with idle hands, though don't know what to do when I'm home all alone. I'm a menace thrown from society, and as it lies to me, I'll smile silently as others do as they please. I am watching and listening, and I'm grinning all the while. 'Cause sometimes all you can really do is smile. So as the work labors on, I'll keep on singing my songs, and this day's never done. We just keep on spinning around that sun. And well, through all these miles and trials, all I've learned to do is smile. Is to smile.
All right, here we are, episode 41, where we're going to be talking about how movement begets momentum. We had a lot of feedback. I got a lot of feedback on the life hacks episode a few weeks ago, and I also realized that there was a lot that never got said, so that's what we're going to get into today. First, though, we're going to get into our moment of gratitude, because that's where I want to start every episode and every day, by expressing gratitude. So this week, I am extremely grateful for transparency, and I'm grateful for the people that I've been fortunate to have in my life, because what I've realized now is the more and more authentic I am with myself, the more and more I attract authentic people, which really drives that level of authenticity and acceptance, right? And so there's a few people in my life, personally and professionally, that have accepted me for years, and now the more they accept me, the more I accept myself. There's a certain piece to that. And it's a lot about what we're going to be talking about today, about how movement begets momentum. And so a situation that happened recently, I almost lost my executive assistant. After 3 years, I had a woman, her name's Emmy, who's been my executive assistant. Anybody that knows me knows how critical she is to my success, personally and professionally, in the last 3 years. And a few weeks ago, I announced that she was leaving, and I was grateful that she stuck around. And during her offboarding process to take on another endeavor, we really realized how much we appreciated working together, and we figured out a way to continue working together. And so it all came down to authenticity and transparency. It wasn't neither one of us were seeking this as the resolution initially, and yet once we started having conversations, it turned into that. And so it further drove home the point for me that when I show up as me, life will work out the way it works out, and I need to trust the process. My mom talks about having faith in your fate. My grandmother often said, it always works out the way it's meant to be. And so we talked about battle cries a few weeks ago. Those are two simple battle cries that keep me understanding that the moment is bigger than what I can see, and I can have an idea of what I want and what I need aren't always the same thing. And so appreciating what's going on around me in those moments, and often things turn out significantly better than I planned when I let go and let God. There's another one, another good battle cry. All right. Second thing, let's a little business piece. I talked about it last week, and I'll bring it up again this week to drive home the point. I did a podcast last week called Father Figures, and it's talking about fathers that are in business and what does that look like. And I absolutely loved it. I really appreciated the time and opportunity I had. It's the first time I've done a podcast or somebody else's podcast in probably 2 or 3 months, and I realized how much I really genuinely love being on other people's podcasts. I shine more than even doing my own show each week. So if you know somebody that has a podcast, and you can think of me being a good guest on their podcast, adding value to them and their audience, that would be a great introduction. And if you have a podcast, I would love to be featured on your podcast when it makes sense. We're talking about veterans, we're talking about growth mindset, talking about entrepreneurship, environment, fatherhood, right? All those things that I have a perspective on. I would love the opportunity to jump on some of these podcasts. That's where a lot of my ideas come forward, and I feel fulfilled when I'm on other people's podcasts. So there we go. We got our gratitude. We got our business. Now let's get in the meat and the potato of the show today. So today it's Life Hacks Volume 2, if you will. So the other day I got into life hacks, and I really loved what we jumped into. I'm going to look for my notes. There they are, about my nose. Of all the things that we got into. And the thing I did not get into is really about the discipline of having life hacks. So for example, one thing I do every day is I fast 16 hours. That's like the thing I do. I've been very disciplined about it the last 18 months. And what I realized was when I'm disciplined about fasting is throughout the day when I'm faced with other challenges, let's plant the seed first. Throughout the day, I'm hungry. There's no doubt. I'm hungry. Or last night, prime example, my daughter and I had dinner. I was done eating for the day, and I know in order for me to fast, my ideal time is I stop eating at 8 p.m. and I break my fast at noon the next day. So it was after 8 p.m. and my daughter wanted a snack. She was tired. She's growing, and it's the summer, whatever. So she wanted a snack, and she had like 3 bites left of her food. It's like 9:30, quarter of 10. She had like 3 bites left of her food. And she's like, Daddy, I'm full. And I'm all about, we don't waste food. I was eating leftovers. And I was like, no, not going to do it. Right. I'm done eating for the day. I know on Monday, I'm going to go get my rotisserie chicken from the Quick Trip, right at 12:15, because I have a 12 to 1300 break in my day to eat. And I get my $6.99 rotisserie chicken. Like in my head, I already know when I'm going to break my fast and when I'm going to eat. And so I said no to that. And then she ended up eating her 3 bites because it's 3 bites and whatever. She got over it. And then it reminds me, like, okay, well, I've done that, right? I instilled that discipline. What else do I need to do? Oh, I need to go to bed at a reasonable time, right? So we set a bedtime last night. It's summer, so it's often bedtimes are kind of when we're tired, or when the movie wraps up is when we head to bed. And so then last night I was like, all right, no, this is the bedtime. And then I set my alarm. This is when I'm going to wake up. And then I got up this morning. And another thing I've done recently, even since this life hack, I have automatic blinds now in my room. So I set the time on that the same time I wake up. So my blinds go up and it gets really bright in my room really quick at the same time that my pink noise is turning off and my alarm is going off, right? So it's like what audio, video, all the stimulation all at once for me to be like, oh, rise and shine. Let's get to the fucking day, you know? So, and thinking about this though, even today, like I find myself when I'm not eating, when I'm staying hungry, when I'm staying that discipline, I look at other behaviors that I have that do not serve me. And I think, okay, hold on. When I am able to stay disciplined on one thing, what else can I be disciplined about? What other life hacks can I implement? What makes a great day, and how do I get more of that the next day? And as I do that, I say, okay, that wasn't incredibly difficult. And it's like, well, yeah, no shit, because it was that little bit of momentum or that little bit of movement that got momentum. I saw a quote earlier today. Taylor and I were doing a little research before this show, and Taylor sent me this thing, and it's very simple. It says, momentum begets momentum, and the best way to start is to start. And it's like, yeah, no shit, right? It's such a simple thing. And yet there it is, right? In order to have momentum, you got to get movement. And if you want to start, then start. And when you have certain things you're disciplined about, then you continue doing that. I often think of Jordan Peterson. He was talking one time about how he never deviates. And I've already forgotten what the thing was, but he goes, I never deviate. That's what I do, and I never deviate. And he said it with such absolute conviction. I remember the conviction he had, and yet I do not remember what it is he was talking about, how he never deviates from this thing that he does. And it reminds me of that old adage, right? People don't always remember what you did or what you said. They remember how they felt when they met you or experienced you in real life. And in that moment, Jordan Peterson, it's like he had such conviction. I remember that level of conviction he had. And often that's a battle cry that I have in the back of my head. I think about that. I think about Les Brown talking about, you always want to be hungry, right? When I feel, fat and happy and content, I go, oh no, we got to get hungry, because in those moments, I remind myself, well, hold on, we got this far, right? What's next? What else? And in life or in business, it's about what's the next pedal I got to press? It's like, okay, we mastered this thing. What's next? What's the next thing I want to improve? It's like, okay, you got the gym down. Good. You got your sleep down. Good. Where are you at with nutrition? Oh, we got some opportunity there. All right. What level of conviction did I have in my sleep and in my gym that I can now implement in my nutrition? Right? What do I need to tell myself in those moments? What are the things that serve me the best? Right? What are the foods that make me my very best? And how do I say, yep, no, this is what I do. I do not eat these types of food. Like, for example, I know me, I love chicken wings. I love deep fried goodness, right? I played a volleyball tournament on Saturday, hence the finger for those watching at home. My finger's in a little splint. I'm 40 years old, and apparently 6 months of playing with a bum finger got worse. Playing the volleyball tournament, right? I packed a lunch because I know me. I'm at a volleyball tournament. It's at a bowling alley. I love me some chicken wings. I love deep fried goodness. So it was real simple. Handy, pack yourself decent food because you're going to be at a volleyball tournament all day. And then the temptation of chicken wings and nachos and all that delicious food is less. It's still there. I still love chicken wings. I still love French fries dipped in nacho cheese, any cheese, right? That's my jam. Poutine, like you talking French fries with gravy and cheese curds? Let's go, right? Yes, please and thank you. And yet, all I had to do was pack a lunch that was slightly better than deep fried goodness, and I was satisfied. It's all about drinking water. Like if you see me, I make a point to take my water bottle with me at all times, especially this time of year, because otherwise I will sit and drink my decaf coffee. Right? I carry one the other. Like even before the show here, I'm drinking one and then I'm drinking the other because I remind myself, hey, you're going to the gym tonight. You got to drink water. Hey, it's hot out. You got to drink water. And by constantly having my water bottle full, right? It's either full and I'm drinking it down, or every time I stop and at a sink, I refill my water bottle. So I take away the excuse of, oh, I'm going to run out of water, whatever it is. Why? Because I'm willing to fast. I'm willing to have a bedtime. I'm willing to tell myself the level of conviction is, nope, I do not deviate from that. And then it carries on to other aspects. I'm talking about health and nutrition here because we all have a vessel. We have this physical being that goes through the world. And now at 40, I'm conscious of it for the first time in my life. I've relatively stayed healthy and in shape most of my life. And now I have to make a point to do it. And this also transfers on to other habits in life. It transfers into thought patterns. It transfers into what I say. I talk about the 13 shit words that do not serve in my book. And my goal is to say, I never use those words, which means I have to reroute that sentence. I have to reconfigure my brain when I start going down a thinking trap, when I start having self-limiting beliefs, when I allow the wounded inner child in me to speak up and remind me that I'm not good enough. And then I can sit back and say, hold on, I am. I am because of all these things that I've done. I am because I had the discipline to fast 16 hours, because I went to bed at the right time, because I got good sleep, because I chose not to open my laptop. One of my biggest things, right, is stopping behaviors. I will sit on my laptop till 11:30 midnight. I know I'm in a bad place mentally when I sit and work all day, because that's what keeps me busy. One of those shit words that do not serve, right? I'm busy, and what I'm doing is I'm avoiding the complicated mental work in order to heal from something I'm recently have gone through. And when I remind myself how good it feels to go through the complicated and simplify it, then I start seeking out other opportunities to go through the complicated in order to simplify it. And now I'm in a place in my life where I've gotten a lot of these simple things established. And now I get to add in, once I've stopped in a lot of these negative behaviors, I get to add in new behaviors like gratitude, for example. What am I thankful for? And I can have conversations with people about gratitude, because it's something I've struggled with in the past. And now every day I seek out an opportunity to find gratitude. And it's like looking for a red car. It's confirmation bias. Once I'm looking for gratitude, I see gratitude more often. And this has been months and months, if not years, in the works of seeking out gratitude. Again, because I have the discipline to do so. And I also have the bandwidth to do so, because I eliminated all of these negative behaviors, these behaviors that did not serve me. I found other behaviors that do serve me, right? This is a progression. And now what it allows me to do is in real time regulate, because I self-reflection, right? Build the story. I did the self-reflection, what serves me, what does not serve me. I'm now self-aware of what serves and does not serve. And now I can regulate in real time how I show up. On Sunday morning, my brothers and I help my parents on a farm. My brothers and I live on a family farm, and my parents live off-site, and then they come work on the farm. And typically Sunday mornings, I sleep in. That's the thing I like doing. I love sleeping in, and I go to the beach. That's my Sunday. Or in the case where I pick my daughter up on Sundays, like yesterday, I would normally sleep in, hang out at my house for a couple hours, get nothing done, watch YouTube videos, and then go pick up my daughter, right? That's full transparency of what I would do normally on a Sunday morning. I mean, give myself the excuse that I owe it to myself to sleep in and do nothing. Fine. Yesterday, woke up early and helped my parents work on the barn, because there was a bunch of projects they wanted to get done. And it was a good time because both my brothers are in town this weekend. And so we put the work in to get the barn done. And although the barn is not my thing, artistic is not my jam. There's all these things that were not well within my scope or scale, or within my purview of goals or success, right? I found so much value in the work. I felt great getting things accomplished. I felt good knowing that, and great really working with my dad and my mom and my brothers, because we get to spend time together and have some teamwork. I felt individually accomplished that I solved some problems as we were hanging things up in the rafters of the barn. Like, I felt good. I was like, wow, I contributed here. Wow, I am smarter than I give myself credit for sometimes. And all those things happened because I had the wherewithal and discipline to say, okay, I'm going to get up on Sunday morning. I'm going to be there on time. I'm going to put the work in. I'm going to have a good attitude about it. I'm not going to let, a couple sore knees and a jacked up finger slow me down. Why? Well, because I also had the discipline to not eat. I had the discipline to go to bed early. I had the discipline where all these other things that I has historically struggled with, these things that I would provide excuses for me, are now gone, because I implemented what was simple in my life that makes me successful. All these life hacks, all this discipline, all this mindset, they are simple, simple things that are done over time. It goes back to what Aristotle says, excellence is a habit, right? It's about being habitual in what makes you great. My challenge for you is very simple this week, right? We talked about life hacks. What makes you great? We talked about battle cries. What do you need to do? And say to yourself in those moments, like Jordan Peterson saying, I do not deviate, right? What do you need to tell yourself to get yourself back on track? I want you to look back this last week. What made you great all week? What are the things that did not make you great? Where did you show up is a person that was not the person you want to be. Maybe it's who you are right now. We can accept that. And yet, what are you going to do today so that tomorrow, when you're faced with that same activating event, that same stimulus, that same situation, that same person, whatever it is, what do you need to tell yourself today? What do you need to do today so you are more prepared to show up in that situation being the ideal person? What does it come down to? How you eat, or what you eat, when you sleep. What do you tell yourself when you get up in the morning? What do you do when you're having these negative self beliefs? What music do you listen to on your way to work? When do you take time to reflect and meditate? All those simple life hacks you can implement in your life so that you can slow down time in a way. You can increase the amount of time from when the stimulus happens to how you respond versus that short time when you react. I still struggle from time to time reacting to stimuluses where my lower limbic system, my fight, flight, or freeze kicks in. And I realize it's often when four things happen. HALT, HALT, covered this in one of my very first episodes. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. When I'm one of those four things, there's a much higher probability that I'm going to fly away or fight the situation. Or worst case scenario for me is to freeze within the kill zone. What do I need to do so I'm not hungry, I'm not angry, I'm not lonely, I'm not tired? And my challenge is simple. Find the things that make you great. Be consistent so that those four things never get in the way. And when you do that, you will give yourself more confidence and clarity and creativity to respond to the stimulus around you. Go out this week. Do the fucking thing. Tell the fucking world who you are and why you exist. And as always, show the fuck up because the world needs you to be at your best. You need to be at your best. Your family and friends need you to be at your best. The world needs you to be at your best. Figure what those things are, implement your life hacks, and have an amazing week. We'll see you next week.
Through all these miles and trials, all I've learned to do is smile. Is to smile.